something I'm gonna miss about this country when we go home to the States. You can tell if the bathrooms are open or not, or if they're full. I think they should adopt that. I say I'm gonna miss it, but we're gonna be home for like a month and a half. We'll be back. Best case scenario right now, we're gonna get a bassinet here so that this one can take a nap during the flight, or hopefully have a full long sleep, and no one is next to us. Look at how empty this flight is. It's a thing of beauty. I'm so excited. Yay! Okay, welcome back to my channel, May Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we are starting a new, I guess, America Life reading vlog. So usually these are Japan life reading vlogs because I show my life in Japan, but if you noticed in the intro of this video, I am actually in the States right now. I'm visiting my family, and we're gonna be here for about a month and a half. So there's gonna be different kind of content going on here. Fingers crossed that it'll be more reading than the other ones, but thus far, I mean, we've only been here like a day and a half, so we're still very jet lagged and adjusting, but thus far I haven't done so much reading, so hopefully we can switch that around. But I did want to start this off with a bang with a little mini book haul because I have a couple books that have arrived in the States. Sometimes shipping is not worth it to Japan because it's like basically more than the book, if not the same price as the book, at least often. So there are a couple special editions that I send here. The first one is one that you've probably seen already on the internet because I'm late in opening this, quite late actually, but that is The Last Secret Project. So I believe this is The Sunlit Man, but I thought I would open it on here with you guys anyway. So let's start with this one. Also, it's a really overcast day, so we're seeing how this new camera performs in low light today because I'm one of those people that would rather die rather than turn on the big light. So as usual, it is well packaged. Ooh, it's so pretty, as it always is. We always get a pin in these boxes. So we have Kaladin. Let's see. That shine is not doing the best, but you can kind of see him. And then we've got the spoiler card here. So it looks like we've got the book, The Sunlit Man, a sparkly bookmark, a sticker, and then the character pin, which we just saw, which is Kaladin. So let's take out the other goodies in here. Here's the sticker. Yeah, I really should have brought my mini ring light because this room has amazing natural light when it's not rainy. And here is the sparkly bookmark. And finally, the beautiful book itself. It's still shrink wrapped, which is why it's so shiny. So let me go ahead and take this shrink wrap off and we'll look at it without the glare. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that gilding. And there's the spine and the back. And then, of course, the black sprayed edges. Again, I'm sure you've already seen this on the internet since I'm super late, but I love that end paper art. Oh, the color scheme is beautiful. And then we've got different end papers on the other side. And headings, chapter headings. I'm telling you, the quality of these, well worth the money. And this one, as well as Yumi, are ones that I really want to read these physical copies because with art inserts like this, I feel like it really changes the entire reading experience. So at least Yumi, but hopefully this one as well, or on my TBR for while I'm home. Like, again, if I can sit down and read more than I have been. So this is the first book that I wanted to haul. And then the next one that I have here is a Kickstarter that finally came in, and I'm delighted to have it, which is Small Miracles. This was the Spiffbo winner from last year, Spiffbo 8. I adored this book, but I've talked about how I hated the cover of the original like paperback, and then when Atwater announced she was doing this Kickstarter, I jumped on it. So let's go ahead and open this one. It's so pretty. Look at the gilding on that. The spine is gold. There's some gilding on the back as well. And then we have red sprayed edges. Let's see what the rest of it looks like. The inside frame is also gilded. Okay. Some ornate end papers. And then, oh, it's cloth bound. I didn't know that. So it's cloth bound. It's got a gilded cupcake. There's the gilded spine. And it is, of course, signed in matching red pen, which is a very nice touch. Smells like a new book, which doesn't smell as good as an old book, but still has a very nice scent to it. And then the back also has the same ornate end papers. This is a beautiful edition of this book, which I adore, so I'll be very proud to display this one. The paperback is all tabbed up, but this is the pretty one I can show everyone. If you don't know what Small Miracles is about, we follow Gadriel, who is an angel of petty temptations, and their job is to tempt people, as the name implies, every day with small things. So to get the whipped cream on their, latte, or eat that little bit of chocolate. So it's just, small things. And every time that they succeed in tempting someone to do something like that, the sinometer of that person goes up. And then one day they're roped into helping a guardian angel who has a charge that is just too good. This charge they never sin, and she seems to not have any fun in her life. And so the guardian angel comes to Gadriel and says, I need you to help this person sin and put a little bit of fun in their life. And so we follow Gadriel as they embark on this adventure. It's witty, it's funny, it's cozy, it just makes you feel good in the end. So I highly, highly recommend Small Miracles. And now these last ones, I'm not 100% sure, but I am 99.9% sure that these are from my very good friend, Crystal Matar. And if these are hardcover editions of Legacy of the Brightwash and Brick and Bone, I'm going to lose my mind. But I'm pretty sure that's what these are. But before I open them, I do have a nice little letter here, so I'm going to read that in private and then come back and open the books with you guys. I got little stickers. Oh my god. Crystal, stop. Let me get myself together here. Not only is the content of this letter incredible and amazing, and just thank you so much, Crystal. I'll send you a message privately about the beautiful words that you said in here. But it also says the Imberley Book Company, which I love this. And then also, I've got some stickers to show off my love for this series. I will be placing these in a very visible spot. And I do believe that I'm correct that these are the hardcovers, and these are going to be treasured possessions of mine. If you don't know, I never stop screaming about Legacy of the Brightwash. I'll have it linked down below, the review that I always direct people to, that I still very much stand by. But I'm obsessed with this series. Crystal is just so incredibly talented. Also, these are packaged really nicely. Hardcovers of indies are, unless they're Kickstarters, they're really hard to get your hands on. So this is like a treasure trove that I'm opening right now. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Here she is. I have Legacy in hardback. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have this in hardback. I cannot. It's the pretty editions too, with the new printed on cover art. Look at that. And here are some quotes on the back. Some orders, some laws aren't worth the paper they're written on, or the men and women who have to pay the price for them. Crystal had messaged me about the quotes on the back of these, and I think she messaged a couple people. It's cool to see what her final decision was after, you know, putting all of those thoughts together. Oh my gosh, and it's personalized and signed, Crystal. You have a really nice signature. Now, Brick and Bone is massive. I thought Legacy was big. I didn't realize just how big this was, like physically, because I read this via ebook. This is massive. This is one of those books that you could seriously injure someone with if you chose to do so. Yes, my set is complete, at least so far, up until book 3 comes out. There is the beauty that is Brick and Bone, the massive chonker that is Brick and Bone. And let's check out the art, directly printed art. Legacy of Brick and Bone. Spine. And then the back quote, which says, "She told me to follow the laws, not to uphold them. She wanted me to keep myself safe, and instead I traded my soul." Oh, Tashue. Just thank you so much, Crystal, for getting these in my hands in this beautiful format. I'm going to treasure these, and I will be displaying them on my shelves for years and years to come. Now, believe it or not, those are the only books that I have to haul. It hasn't been that long since I've been home, and a lot of the Kickstarters that I backed that will be coming to this address haven't shipped yet, haven't been completed yet. So this is just a cute little haul full of books that I adore, and I thought it would be a really good way to start this vlog off. So I'm still currently reading The Poison Song, as well as Kaiju Preservation Society and Hills of Heather and Bone. I haven't made any progress on any of those. Usually when we, you know, take the big flight from Japan to America, I can get a lot of reading done. But with Sumide, that's not even, no. Like, you're busy the entire flight. She's also having to adjust to being around new people. Well, my parents are new people in general, but for her, it seems like it, because she hasn't seen them since she was 3 months. So we're getting her adjusted to being around them, and hopefully once she can kind of be in their care without having a fuss or whatever, without seeing Hayato and I, then we can start to do our own thing a little bit while we're here. So we're gonna slowly work on that, and hopefully I will get to reading, but I will be sure to check back in with you guys when I have an update on either the reading front or we're doing something exciting. Actually, I just realized we're going to be doing something exciting tonight. My dad's project, the James Webb Space Telescope, the pictures that it's taken are part of one of those like 3D interactive installations, and we're going to go see one of those tonight. I think it's the last night for it, so we're going to go there and check that out so I can take you guys with me. And I don't know if they'll allow photography in there. My instinct is that they won't, but we'll see. And I'll bring you guys along, and I'll be sure to insert some of those clips here.
How long is the purse supposed to last, and how do you get it to last that long? Because most things made on Earth can live 1 minutes, or paper or something like that.
Now begins the actual picture.
JWST. I recognize that one. Do you have a favorite picture so far from the JW?
I have a favorite picture of JW. It was actually the one that was on the wall when he was talking.
Ah, yeah, the first one, right?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
background, that's my favorite too. I may be a booktube channel, but it's still my background on Twitter. I refuse to let it go. Probably confuses people when they find it, like, why is there space? But Okay, today is tattoo day. So I have got my tattoo preparation bag all prepared, all set up. It's gonna be a long day today. I think I've got an 8-hour session ahead of me. Basically, we're gonna do as much of this sleeve as we can today. It's probably, I mean, it is gonna take at least one more session after this one to finish everything up and add the details. We'll probably be adding some details to the top here, but the goal is by the time I leave the States to have this sleeve completely done. So I am very excited. I told my artist who I've been working with for many years, he's done this whole sleeve and he did my first tattoo and everything. I told him the elements that I wanted to fit into the sleeve and showed him the open spots. And then I trust him with making the designs because he hasn't let me down yet. He knows exactly what my vision is. So I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna be getting, but that's part of the fun when you find an artist you trust. So I'm excited to go there and see what he's cooked up for me. And I'll be there, like I said, for about 8 hours. I'm gonna ask him if he's comfortable, you know, being in this vlog. He very well might not be. But I'll at least show you guys like the stencil and some progress shots. I haven't gotten tattooed since before getting pregnant because you can't obviously get tattooed while pregnant or also while breastfeeding. So it's been a long time since I've been able to update or to work on this sleeve, and I'm so incredibly excited. The older I get, the less I play with these longer sessions. So I've got like little snacks I'm bringing with me, some salt, some sugar, some blueberries to keep my blood sugar up. I'm bringing a couple sodas, a Coke, a ginger ale. I'm bringing water. I've got a fully charged Kindle. I've also got some really warm like room socks and a down jacket I can put on like part of my body, because I've learned that once half of your body is bare and being worked on for a good, once you reach the 4 or 5 hour mark, you start getting cold. So I've learned all of these kind of little tricks over the years because I tend to sit for longer sessions. I guess I never learn. So today's another one of those, and I've done everything I can to prepare. I'm getting my elbow done today as well, so that's gonna be great. Reading wise, I've made progress on the Kaiju Preservation Society because I have that on my phone, and recently Sumire has not been sleeping well unless she's being cuddled and held in a very specific way. So that only allows me to use one hand, so I've been reading on my phone. So I've made a lot of progress in that book, but in the Poison Song and what was the other one I'm reading? Hills of Heather and Bone have not made much progress, but today I very well might while getting tattooed. So I'll check back in with you guys when I have an update. Wish me luck. Hi. Okay, hi guys. We are on the way, or about to leave, to go to, not Patuxent, Homestead Gardens. So this is for all of you plant baby people out there. It's like the best nursery in the area, so we're excited to go check it out. Hayato wants to get a Staghorn fern to put in our backyard, and my parents are definitely down with that idea. So this is the only place in the area that I think would have that. So we're gonna go check it out. Yeah, check back in soon. We found them. This
Little
one looks-
giants.
Yeah, so it's gonna become much, much bigger. Oh, he's a cute little one. He looks healthy.
Yeah.
How many you want to get? Just one?
I think just one is fine. Or I'm not sure if he can survive there.
I see. So you want to try first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Second one coming out from here.
元気やね. Hayato's choosing which one he wants to get. My mom used to get so mad at me when I used to line up my toys and compare them for like 20 minutes before I picked one.
That toy.
I'm just laughing because we do the same thing.
Not same. They're different. All different.
True. I'll leave you be for a little while. Come back. See if you picked one by then.
Yeah, leave me an hour.
Okay.
Hi. So last video, I was choosing which one I should use, and then I choose him. The little cute one. And you see the big main leaf, and then small leaves, babies growing here back from the back. So he must be super, interesting, good boy. And I'm thinking and putting him here like that. What do you think? Isn't it cute? Now I'm preparing soil, so I put the soil and then put the plant on the top and then make it pretty.
We're gonna put the staghorn fern, and by we I mean Hayato. He's gonna put the staghorn fern on the tree. We are just gonna watch. Hi. Yeah, we're just the judges. Let's see if your daddy does it right, huh? So we're taking this
Hi.
moss, right?
Yeah.
And there's the plant we chose the other day. And we are using that twine to put the moss up here. And then the hope is that the fern will be here, and then over the years it'll get bigger and bigger and just be this nice centerpiece. This is a dogwood tree. So it'll have white flowers, right, Mom? White flowers in the spring? Yep. Yeah.
Pretty soon, around Easter.
Sorry, Buddha. You got the moss on your head.
Ah, man.
Yeah, I like this shape.
Okay, she is secure. She is looking happy. Can't wait to see what she looks like next time we come back. So we're having homemade okonomiyaki. Yay! So you've got cabbage, shrimp. What did I say? Tempura flakes.
Tempura flakes.
Mochi,
Actually, green onion.
green onion. And this, it should be champo noodles, but we couldn't find them. So it is lo mein noodles. And we'll let this cook until it's browned on each side. And then we'll put the toppings on. So I'll show that in a little bit. Oh, I guess, and pork as well.
Yeah. Wow. Don't take the other one. Good one. Don't make it. I told you. Don't take it. Delete it.
Okonomiyaki sauce.
Okay. Okay, next is here.
Japanese mayonnaise.
Cutie mayonnaise.
No, the Japanese government is Romanizing. Oh, sorry.
Nori. Katsuobushi.
Cornflakes. Done.
So Alright, it is the next day after Okonomiyaki and it was delicious. And Hayato and I are about to leave the house because he's gonna go climbing at a climbing gym. And then I am going to go to a secondhand bookstore and get some coffee and hopefully finish my current read. So I haven't been to a secondhand bookstore in so many years and I'm beyond excited for this. It's hard enough to find new releases in Japan, but to find like a fun secondhand bookstore, not happening. So I'm delighted that I get the chance to do that today. And then quick reading update. For the last couple days, I finally, Sumide is on the right time schedule for America finally. So she's sleeping relatively normal hours. So we're kind of able to settle into a routine a bit. So I was able to get back to reading and I made huge progress in The Poison Song. I'm now 78% through, I think. And when I told you this book was stressing me out from like 30% to 50%, I almost didn't want to pick it up. It was stressing me out so much. But now we are in the, I think I'm gonna get stressed out again because I can see the big climax that's coming. And I'm not, look, I'm ready, but I'm also not ready, okay? This is one of my favorite series of all time now. I'm so invested and I want it to end, but I also don't want it to. I'm sure everyone watching this knows that feeling when you're really invested in a series. But I really do want to finish it because there's a lot of books that I should be reading this month and I'm still reading the rollovers from last month. So, we'll see what that ends up being at the end of the month, what I actually get done. But I'm just going to enjoy being in this world for today, hoping to finish this today. I'll get a couple clips when I am sitting down drinking my coffee and hopefully when I'm in the store as well. So enjoy said B-roll footage, hopefully starting now. Okay, so I've arrived at the bookstore. I've dropped Hayato off at the climbing gym and he was having the time of his life when I left him there, so I'm so happy for him. The bookstore that I just arrived at is called Books, Music, and More. So the outside doesn't look too enticing, but the pictures of the inside look nice, and like I said, I haven't been to a used bookstore in ages. I don't know if I have the balls to bring in this whole camera with the mic on top, so we might just get footage from my phone. I'll get there. I'll get that self-important one day. I just don't think I'm there yet. So I'll take you guys with me though, and hopefully we find something good. Okay, so the lighting is god-awful here. I don't know how people always do like these car updates when they do vlogs and like the lighting is good, but whatever. We are in the parking lot at the coffee shop that I'm gonna go to, so I thought that I would just show you guys what I got from the bookshop first. I had so much fun in there. I spent about an hour in there and I found some really, I don't know, unique stuff. Not unique, I guess. I just kind of, since everything was like $2 or $3, I was like, oh, this seems interesting, let me try it. So the first one that I found that I was very excited about is this really cool edition of Billy Budd. My dad loves Billy Budd and he lent me his paperback copy to read because I haven't, read it before. And then I just found this really cool Heritage Club edition. It even has like the certification inside. It wasn't that pricey or anything, but I just thought it would be nice for him to have this kind of old-timey edition of his favorite book. He loves old shit. So when I saw that in the collectible section, I definitely had to get it. And then this is the only one that I would say was kind of like a splurge, I suppose. It was 20 bucks, which is way cheaper than it is being sold for online. And that is the Owl Crate edition of Where Dreams Descend. This one caught my attention like when it first came out, and I just never got around to buying it. And like I said, resale prices for like Owl Crate and stuff is ridiculous online. And I don't know, I just always thought it was pretty. It's got circus vibes. It says the stage is set, the spectacle awaits. And I remember a lot of people that I trusted having good reviews of this. So I don't really care that it has the stickers, but it's signed as well. And I don't know, I just thought it was a nice surprise, pleasant find. So I went for this one. And then this one is actually quite random. I Am Legend. I've wanted to read this for ages because I like the movie, but I heard that the movie is nothing like the book and the book is way better, as is always the case. So I've wanted to read this for such a long time, and I saw it for like, I don't know, I think it was like $2 or something, so I picked it up. This one, Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata. I read Convenience Store Woman by her, and I liked it, but it was, I have mixed feelings about that book, essentially. There were some aspects of it that I liked and some that just I bounced off of real hard, but I've always wanted to try her again. And this is a collection of short stories, and I remember feeling like Convenience Store Woman was too long for what it was. So I would really actually like to give Murata's short stories a try, because I feel like that's where she would thrive. I don't know. So I picked this up because I didn't even know she had a short story collection, but apparently she does. Then these three are from like the beat up SF paperback section. We all know it with the mass market paperbacks. This one is Lord Fowl's Bane. The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever, Book 1. Donaldson is on my classic fantasy TBR, and again it was like $2, so I figured it might be kind of fun to read one of my books from my classic fantasy TBR in this classic kind of casing, this classic packaging. So yeah, I picked this up when I saw it. And then this one, Janny Wirtz, Ships of Merrier. I am blessed to know Janny and have talked to her on several lives, and it just always blows my mind when I see the books of the people that I've talked to in a store, in a library or something. Like I saw C.L. Clarke's books like facing out in my library, and I was like, wait, I just talked to Clarke like four days ago. And to see her books out in the wild, I don't know, it's surreal to me. So I've been wanting to get to Wars of Light and Shadow for ages, because everyone in my circle, especially PL, he has raved about this for years and years and years, and it seems like Janny is finally getting what she's due, because I'm seeing tons of people talk about her series. I'm not in the state of mind right now where I could like take on another gigantic fantasy series, but I want to start collecting them in kind of these classic you know, the mass market paperbacks. If I could find the big floppy ones, that would be way better, but I don't know, I just feel like this is the right look for her series. So I wanted to start collecting them. This is book 2, so maybe little by little I'll get the whole series, and then when I collect it all, I'll read it, finally. And the last one here is the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Now I did have to read large swaths of this for my Victorian literature class, and then a couple other, not Victorian literature, was it? One of my literature classes in university, I had to read most of it, but I don't remember it, and I read it in like little snippets throughout the year rather than all at once. And I remember laughing out loud, like Chaucer he's got beef with people, he's got tea, and he's not afraid to put it on the page. And I don't know, I don't have like one compact edition of it, so it really really, you know, called out to me. So again, like $2, so I picked it up. So that's a really kind of different type of haul than you usually see on my channel, because I'm always doing online shopping from Japan, and not just like being able to walk through a used bookstore and pick up books I'm interested in for $2. Like, that was so great. And it allows me to kind of expand, because I'm not paying shipping, like brutal shipping, so I can try some things out that I might not love, you know? So that was really fun. But the lighting is getting even worse. So I'm gonna go into the coffee shop. Apparently the caramel lattes here are to die for. And I'm gonna read my current read, which is The Poison Song. So Hayato asked me to go get him some garlic chives for breakfast. My parents are really into gardening, especially my mom, and we just cleared out this the other day for the spring. And the chives are still looking real good even after the winter, so I'm gonna get Hayato a bunch of these. We obviously haven't gotten to this or a lot of other things. Here's some of the stuff from when we cleared it out. But we also cleared out this vegetable trough. Not quite sure if the oregano survived, so we're gonna keep that in there. But Mom usually has basil, and the basil goes wild here in spring and summer, so I'm sure she'll put more basil in there. Usually this has cucumbers that climb all up here, and tomatoes. So again, they thrive here, so I have a feeling they'll probably do those again. Today's an absolutely gorgeous day. It's so warm, it's ridiculous. So we'll probably do more gardening today. Hayato and I love gardening, and we don't have a big garden of our own, so we like to help them set up. So I'm gonna pull a bunch of these fresh garlic chives for breakfast. Maybe that'll be enough. He'll probably want more. He'll probably send me back out, but just in case, I'll go in and check. And then here we have a greenhouse that has normal chives in it. Let's see. Ooh, and they are thriving. So I'm gonna pick a couple of these too. Wow, it's hot in here. It's almost like it's supposed to be hot in here. And these are strawberries that again need to be refreshed. Everything needs to be refreshed. You can see what we've gotten to and what we haven't. And I think this is more, is this oregano? More oregano? No, I think that's thyme. Okay, so here's the bounty I've decided upon. That should be enough for what he wants to make. He's gonna make niratama, which is a type of Japanese omelet, obviously, that has chives in it. Okay, so you guys are a little bit lopsided. Okay, I have you sitting on my car seat right now. There's no one here, so I want to take advantage of this. I am here to get my the finishing touches on my sleeve. I'm gonna finish it today, and I'm so excited. But I realized that I never showed you what it looked like after mostly healing from the outline appointment. I also finished The Poison Song, so I'm gonna sit down later today and talk to you guys about that book and what I'm currently reading. But for right now, I'm only have a couple minutes before my appointment. Let me show you what the tattoo looks like. Okay, so last time I was here, I had this whole area was like a gap, right? So we filled all this in. I've got a Victorian filigree, 7. Got a clothespin here. Got this beautiful lantern with 2 little bee friends. And then here I've got a giant violet, of course, for sumire, because that's what sumire means in English, is violet. And then it wraps around and has some more Victorian filigree. We decided to do a lot more filigree in this than we originally planned, because I kind of want to pay homage to my Victorian literature class, which got me back into reading, because this is like a literature sleeve. So today and I also got this shaded in. Minas Tirith is looking beautiful. And then he also did some extra lines in these, which were the first part of the sleeve I ever got. So he did some extra details there. And then I got a little bud at the top here. And so what we're gonna do today is obviously shade all of this, decide on a background pattern. So I'm gonna get this filled in. That's gonna be real fun. And then there's gonna be some filigree on the back here to kind of close out the edges of the tattoo. So we haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do. This was actually all free-handed by him last time I was here, except for the clothespin. Everything else is free-handed. So I'm probably just gonna go in and we're gonna like reconnoiter, see what we both feel like, what designs we like. He'll draw it on, and then we'll go for it. So I can't wait to have this project finished. I've been working on it for so long. I think I started this when I was like 23 or something like that, so it's almost 10 years in the making, good lord. But I can't wait to have it finished. So I'm gonna head in, because it's my appointment time now. And we'll see what it looks like. I'll show you some progress shots, and we'll see what it looks like when I come out. Progress so far. Hi. So I am back from getting tattooed. It was a 7-8 hour session. Of course, we took a break for lunch, but still, unfortunately, not done. Both of us really did our best, but he was like, I think there's another 4 hours in this, and my skin didn't have 4 hours in it. But essentially what we've got, I'm all cling wrapped up right now, so you'll be able to see clearly, but we extended the outside piece here. I'm sure I inserted clips earlier of this happening, but, and then did really, really dark black behind these flowers. And then you can't really see my forearm right now, but basically I have finished piece, and then my, what's it called? Lupines are a finished piece at this point, but this back part, the lantern, is just shaded. Oh yeah, you can see, so there's no background here, but it is shaded now, the individual pieces are. And then we haven't put background here. So essentially, through here is not complete with the background, but the individual pieces are, if that makes sense. So I think we made a lot of progress, and when I looked in the mirror, I was like, yeah, I think I can rock this for a little over a year, because that's probably the next time I'll get it done. These heavy black spots are probably, he said, going to need about 3 weeks to heal. And I could technically squeeze in another session then, but then I would be healing on the plane, and that's a lot of carrying sumide, and I just don't want to deal with that. So for this year, this is how much we're going to get done on the sleeve, but we're so close now. But I'm very excited to see how the different areas heal, because this super black area is like a blacker than black ink or whatever. So that's going to heal really dark. It should stay about this dark. And then there's a couple areas down here that look real dark right now. Honestly, had me worried for a minute there because I was like, a lot of the details aren't very visible right now. But then he explained to me that some of the leaves that look really dark right now are actually gray, and they're going to heal a lot lighter than they look right now, and I think that'll give a lot more dimension to the piece. So I'm really excited to see how this heals, actually. And part of me is kind of happy that we haven't done the background yet, because depending on how it heals is how we're going to want to do the background, right? So if it heals lighter, we were thinking, and we decided to darken it up, maybe we'll want to lighten up the background in that area. So it's frustrating not having the sleeve finished. I'm sure people that have worked on a sleeve know this feeling, but I think it is for the better that we didn't finish it today. So I've never had like this super dark ink before, so we'll see how my skin heals with it and you know what it looks like. But I am very happy about the way he capped off the back here. Now it's like a finished piece back there, and that makes me really happy to have that part done at least. So for the next few days, it's going to be looking real ugly. It's going to be bleeding, plasming everywhere, and then it'll enter the itchy phase. But sometimes it doesn't look too bad in between the plasm phase and the itchy phase. So maybe I'll be able to show you guys kind of what it looks like without the cling wrap at that time. But you know, anyone who has tattoos and has gone through the healing process for large pieces, it's not fun. But we do it for the love of the end product, all right? Then I said I would also talk about the Poison Song, which I finished my ebook of that 2 days ago, I think. And I mean, it's a full 5-star series for me. I adore the Winnowing Flame trilogy. I wrote a review on Goodreads. I'll have that link down below. That has a lot of my thoughts like immediately after finishing, because I always write my Goodreads reviews right after. I can see some of the criticisms that people had of the book and why it's not like a 5-star for everyone. There were a couple of scenes that I think were put in places in the timeline that they could have been better used in other places to have more of an impact, or some reveal would finally happen and then it felt kind of anticlimactic. If that reveal had happened earlier, I think it would have fit into the story better. Like there was some kind of timing issues in that way. There were also some choices made with character deaths, like who lives and who dies, which I can see some people maybe having an issue with. But Williams, man, her characters go through it, okay? My poor babies, they went through so much. And I really loved how it ended. I think there were a lot of threads left unfinished, but purposefully. Like, it didn't feel like Williams forgot about them. It felt like she wanted to leave those threads open. And it's something for us readers to kind of speculate and kind of continue living in the world a little bit as we speculate, like where these things, these little threads might have gone in the future. And I'm really hoping that she's planning on doing like a novella or two in this world, because I think it is ripe for it with the way things ended and little bits and pieces, like, oh my God, hearing about vintage and her travels before everything happened, I would kill for some novellas. So I'm going to start a petition for that, for Williams to bless us with some novellas in this world. But I loved it. The kind of horror elements of the book were so well like embedded into the fantasy sci-fi setting. It was just such a genre blend of so many things, and it was so fresh and unique all the way through. I couldn't predict what was going to happen at any point in time, which I found to be really, really fun. As a person who's read like as much fantasy as I have, when you can't guess what's going to happen, that's really, really fun. Another thing is that Williams is clearly aware of the fantasy tropes that she's playing with and purposefully does different things with them. There were a lot of times in this series where they really wanted the like cavalry to arrive. I wanted that big epic moment of like, you know, Bridge 4, if you know what I'm talking about, from Way of Kings or Words of Radiance even. But I wanted that cavalry coming in moment, and she denies you that pretty consistently because she doesn't want that to be the kind of story that she's telling. And while I found that frustrating, I also grew to love the characters and their wit and their ability to move through things without that cavalry even more. So I think she definitely knew what she was doing in that regard, and I grew to really respect it by the end. Do I think this is going to be a full 5-star series for everyone? No. Do I think it's worth everyone giving a shot? Absolutely. I think there's a lot that you can find interesting and unique, even if it's not an all-time favorite for you as it is for me. I can see why some people like The Ninth Reign better than the last 2 books, like I said, because of some of the choices that Williams makes in developing her story. But I was there for the whole thing. I loved it. I was so stressed reading The Bitter Twins and The Poison Song, like to the point where I put off reading The Poison Song. Between 30% and like 55%, that book was stressing me out so much because I cared so much that like I wanted to read it, but I also really, really didn't want to. And that's why it took me so long to read. But finally, after blowing through that particular section, not that our characters didn't go through it after that, because they definitely did. But I feel like once I got over that hump, I was like, all right, I just got to push through my stress and see what happens to my babies. But once I did get over that hump and sat down to read them, like I couldn't put them down, which has been the case with this entire series. So I adore this series. It is a new all-time favorite. You're going to hear me screaming about it for a really long time, so prepare yourselves. But that chapter has now come to a close. So what am I now reading? I'm still making my way through my February TBR, okay? Look, listen, I don't want to hear it. Life happened, okay? I've been busy. We are halfway through March and I'm still reading books that I said I would read in February. Shh, hush, okay? Right now I am reading Between the Lines. I started, oh, there we go, Between the Lines. I started this 2 days ago at like 4 a.m. because Sumire was up, wasn't having it, me putting her in her crib, so she wanted to do some contact sleeping, so I sat down in a chair, and you know, when you get up and you rock a baby for 30 minutes, sometimes you're just awake, you can't get back to sleep. So I decided, well, I have my Kindle on me, why don't I just, you know, start reading the book that I said I would read a month ago. So I started with Between the Lines, and I had heard literally no one talk about this book, so I went in completely blind, except for the synopsis that I read, of course. And I think this is one of the cases where the concept is really good, but the skill of the author doesn't quite match or isn't quite at the caliber needed for the concept. So essentially we're in this world where there are people called page turners, or turners for short, that can travel between the different pages, which are different worlds stacked on top of each other like the pages of a book. And all of these turners live in a place called Spine, which is connected to all the pages. And there's like a traveling guild, and all these different worlds are somehow connected to like elements. There's like a chapter of certain elements and then pages within that chapter of different worlds connected to that element, which I think is really cool. But the problem is, if you were to ask me more detail than that, I have a really hard time explaining it to you, because I think the author has a hard time explaining it. Like, I get the general concept, but then if you, like all the little details of it, like how each page connects to the other, or what actually is an elemental, like what's a fire elemental, what's an earth elemental, and like how are those things categorized. I'm not quite sure, but the author references it as if I'm supposed to be sure, so I don't know if that's something I missed, but I don't think it is, because there are other things like that in the story. There's also a lack of internal consistency, where like sometimes an action will have consequences and sometimes it won't. Like our character is an investigator, so she's like a private investigator, so she's not connected to the travel guild, which is like cops in this world, if you want to look at it that way. And they kind of, you know, control or track who goes where and why and how and all of that, and charge people for certain services. And she works kind of outside of those boundaries, which is really cool, I think, to allow her to see different parts of the world that are not so official. I got a little bit distracted there though. So she's an investigator, and she has this little like fire sprite that decides to join her, follows her around, which is again really cool concept. And I like some of the things that she's done with that character. But like the main character doesn't think this through, and she's like, yeah, you can, this thing that is literally made of fire and I know nothing about and catches everything around it on fire because it burns too hot, come with me to the market. And they like burn down a bunch of looms in front of the people who are working on it, and she just like hands these people money, and she's like, hope that pays for it, hee hee tee hee, and like runs away, and there's no consequences to her. But then later she gets in like a little tiff, a little fight with this other character, and then the police like chase her down, the other character, for getting in a little fight. I'm like, you literally burned down like part of the market. Like there's little inconsistencies like that. And then the final thing is, when we move from one scene to another, this book is extremely fast paced, okay? So like, I think our main character has gone to sleep like twice, but she's gone to like 15 different worlds at this point. So it's super fast paced, which is fine. But when we move from one moment to another, I kind of tend to get a little lost. Like, I don't know how we got from point A to point B, or why we're going to point B from point A, because it happened so quickly. And I'm not sure about the connection. So that's also bothering me a little bit. But the positives are that, one, the concept is really cool. And two, the worlds that she's invented, the pages are really, really cool and interesting. I just visited one that's like the air world with like flying ships, which I love anyway. I'm such a sucker for like pirate ships, especially if they're flying. I don't know why, but a world with like flying ships and like a cloud castle. Like, it's really cool, the different places that she's thought up. I just kind of wish there was more meat there, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, so far this is sitting at maybe a 2.53 star. I'm leaning towards a 3 because what I am enjoying pretty thoroughly. And it's also very quick. Like, I'm like 57% of the way through this, and I've sat down to read it like twice. I think it's only like 290 pages, which is like nothing for us fantasy readers. So it's good. In certain ways, and in other ways it's not. But I'm enjoying myself, and I'll definitely finish it because it reads quick. So I'm hoping to finish this, if not tonight, then tomorrow morning. I will be recovering from this, and I can't really hold Sumide probably until tomorrow. So I might get out of nighttime duty tonight, which, if I was smart, I would use that to sleep, but I might use it to finish this book. I'm gonna hate myself tomorrow if I do that, but I probably will. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. So that's what I'm reading right now. And then I've started the audiobook for The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. That was this month's pick for the Only Good Book Club. That was kind of one of the placeholders I had in my March TBR video, so I hadn't really revealed what I was reading for that yet, but I fixed my library card, and oh god, it's just, libraries are so wonderful. They're so key. And so now I can listen to audiobooks again, and it is beautiful so far. The last book I read by Roshani Chokshi, I always say her name wrong, I feel terrible, Chokshi, I think, was The Gilded Wolves, and I did not like that book. So I was kind of iffy when this was the pick. But the writing is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. It's like a love letter to myths and legends, which you all know that I love. And it's written like one. Oh my god, it's so beautiful so far. And I think I'm already like 21% into the audiobook. I was doing Gardening yesterday. I just put on the audiobook and went to town, and it was amazing. Actually, I missed audiobooks so much. So yeah, I'm about 21% into that, and I'll definitely be continuing. But that's kind of where I am right now. And I think there's so much packed into this vlog already. I think what I'm going to do is split March into two. I said in my February vlog I was going to do like one long vlog for each month, and that might be the case generally, but like because I'm in the States and like doing more than I would usually do in my daily life, you know, because I have like childcare and all that, I think there's already enough footage. So I think I'm gonna close out this vlog here, and then you guys will see like the healed second session of my tattoo. I'll talk about, you know, the reading I do in the second half of March and all of that in the next vlog. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community, and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Ciao!